Hey there, nation. Welcome to the show. We help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander CheapSkate, and now it's time for another edition of Shadows over Shadespire. This is our series of Age of Sigmar Skirmish battle reports. This one's battle report number 3. This one is fought between two of my friends, Fresh Prince Belair as well as Ground the Paunch. Fresh Prince Belair is bringing his Court of the Shadow King, which is a Swift Hawks Agents warband, versus my buddy Ground the Paunch is bringing the Crooked Moons, which is a Moon Clan Grots mob. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see exactly how these two armies kind of go out against it. Both these armies are just starting out brand new at 50 renown points. Like we said earlier in the other battle reports, most of the warbands will be starting off in a typical warband fight, so that way they get some experience points and some renown, so that way they can start taking off into the other scenarios within the skirmish campaign. And like we said before, 50 points is where we're kind of starting off for warbands, because 25 was just too little, and so that's why we're doing it the way we're doing it. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's go and put on some background music real fast. You can take a look at the lists that are going to be put up here real quick for you. If you want to take a closer look at what these armies are bringing, you can feel ahead and pause at your own pace and take a look at it. So without any further ado, let's go and talk about the army list for this one. Alright, with the army list out of the way, let's go and take a look at deployment real quick. As you can see, we are fighting on a 4x4 table, because that is the scale of these battle reports take place in with Age of Sigmar Skirmish. So you can see here on the near side of the borders where my buddy Fresh Prince Belair has set up his Court of the Shadow King, and the far side of the borders where my buddy Ground the Paunch has set up his Grots, Moon Clan Grots. As you can see here, pretty much, as if you notice with the high elves, they're kind of like within 24 inches inside the table. And the reason why that is the case is because Shadow Warriors have what's a special ability called One with the Shadows, where they can move an additional 12 inches right after deployment. So that's what my buddy Fresh Prince Belair decided to take advantage of. So you can see they kind of made their way into the actual villages right next to the standing stones. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's go talk about the individual deployment zones and talk about where everything is located at. Alright, over here in the center portion of the board, we have 4 members of the Grey Watch. We got 4 Shadow Warriors with a Horrible Owner as well as Shadow Walker. And right next to them, of course, you have Elith Anar, that is the Shadow King himself. He's leading this warband, and they kind of take out cover positions between the standing stone as well as building, so that we can start taking some long-range shots. And over here on the far right hand side, we have 3 more Shadow Warriors of the Grey Watch. They're kind of located there to lay down some suppressive fire on the right hand flank of the table. So that will make up the deployment for the Swift Hawk Agents on this one. And directly across them, we have the entire Moon Clan Grots warband. Starting on the left-hand side, you got the Backstabbers. Those are the guys who are armed with bows. Right in the middle, you have the Great Red Gobo. That is the guy who's the leader of this warband. Next to him, you have the Ludas, which are the 6 Grots that are armed with spears. And the very far right-hand side, you got the Mangler and the Bonebreaker. Those guys are the little Squig, Cave Squig, and Squig Herder little crew team that are located there as well. Also off-frame as well is the Wrecker. The Wrecker is the fanatic that's heading out in one of these units, and we'll see exactly where that guy is located at when they get to the charge phase. So that being said, both of these warbands roll off for initiative, and we go to top of turn number 1. And the Moon Clan Grots get that first initiative on this one, so they will be going first. This photo is checking directly after the hero phase. As you can see, they use their Ravager's ability to move up forward, and my buddy Ground the Paunch rolled very, very well for his Ravager's ability. As you can see, they kind of move up about 6 to 8 inches, depending on what units you're kind of looking at. On the left-hand side, you have the Wrecker and the Bonebreaker, the Bonebreaker and the Mangler, as well as the Looters. They're heading over to the left-hand side to kind of deal with those 3 Shadow Warriors on the other side of that building. At the same time, he sends his War Boss as well as the Backstabbers, which are those 6 Moon Clan Grots armed with longbows. He also deploys them over there on the right-hand side as well. He also uses command ability, where if these guys roll a 6, they do double damage to wound whenever they roll a 6 onto wound scores. So that pretty much makes it the hero phase on this one. And during the movement phase, you can see both these units just move up. Both these sides of the army just move up as quick as they possibly can. They just go the normal 5 inches. They don't run or anything like that. And that's because I have a sneaking suspicion that my buddy Ground the Paunch is planning on moving these guys during the charge phase. So moving out of the way, we go directly to the shooting phase. And in the shooting phase, pretty much all the long-range firepower of the Moon Clan Grots just kind of open up on Alith Anar. They managed to put 2 wounds on that guy. They had a pretty lackluster shooting phase. That's because their Moon Clan Grots don't exactly have the best stats when it comes to rolling to hit and to wound. But, 2 more wounds onto a rival general, that's just 2 less wounds they got to worry about later on. So with the shooting phase over, we go directly to the charge phase. And as you can see in this photo, my buddy Ground the Paunch has rolled out of the box for his charge rolls. He rolled like a 10, 11, and he also rolled like I think a 8 or 9. I forgot which one that was. But in either case, as you can see, the Wrecker, which is that orange hooded fanatic, he kind of breaks out of the Ludas, charged directly into those 3 Shadow Warriors located on the left-hand side of the board. At the same time, the Mangler as well as the Bonebreaker, they also make their charges, as well as the Looters as well. So they're already engaged in close combat with these 3 Shadow Warriors. It's going to be interesting to see exactly how it happens because, Shadow Warriors are pretty deadly in close combat as well as with shooting, so we kind of need to see what happens with that combat phase. At the same time, you have the Backstabbers as well as the Red Gobo, which is the leader of this Warband. They also make their charges directly into that unit of 4 Shadow Warriors as well, so those guys are engaged in close combat. Oddly enough, my buddy Ground the Paunch did not engage his general with his opponent's general against Fresh Prince Bel-Air's Alith Anar for whatever reason, but, we just kind of see what exactly it's going to look like. So with that being done, we go directly to the combat phase. And in the combat phase, the Wrecker, which is that fanatic, did all the killing that needed to be done in the close combat phase. This guy not only did he get off his hits, he also got off his wounds as well. Also caused D3 damage and wiped off that unit of 3 Shadow Warriors right off the table like it was nobody's business. And that was absolutely devastating for my buddy Fresh Prince Bel-Air. So combat phase is going very, very well for Ground the Paunch. And to make matters worse, he also managed to kill those 4 Shadow Warriors at the same time. He also took some losses. He lost 3 members of the Backstabbers in return, but they managed to kill off 4 Shadow Warriors. So now the only thing left that's on this table from the fight against is their 1 enemy general, and that guy's already carrying 2 wounds, which is absolutely frightening. Because they also lost some models, they had to roll off onto Bravery to see if they lost any more guys. 2 more models from the Goblin Warband had to flee off, so they took 2 more guys away from the Looters, which was the regular spear-carrying Moongrots. But even with those 2 guys going off the table, there's only 1 model left for them to kill, and things are looking very, very bad for my buddy Fresh Prince Bel-Air. And speaking of bad luck, we go directly to the top at turn number 1 for the Swift Hawk agents. And Fresh Prince Bel-Air uses his character's ability, the Shadow Crown. When you use the Shadow Crown, you can basically use it once per battle, and in that phase, you can either move twice, shoot twice, or attack twice. In which this case, my buddy Fresh Prince Bel-Air decided to pull back his general 12 inches and made him go all the way away from where that table is located at because things are going very, very bad for him. Decides to buy himself some time by putting some distance so that we can do some long-range shooting before he has to engage. With that being said, we go directly to the shooting phase. And as you see, during the shooting phase, he managed to get off 3 wounds onto the opposing general. So the Red Go was now carrying 3 wounds. He's got 2 more before he dies. So things are not looking very good for my buddy Ground the Paunch. His general could die here in the next turn or not. So with that being said, there's no close combat or anything else because all that's left over on the table is his general. So because of that, we go directly to the top of turn number 2 and we roll for initiative, which goes directly to the Moon Clan Grots in this case, so things are not looking very good at all for Fresh Prince Bel-Air. As you can see, this photo is taken directly after the hero phase, as again, Ground the Paunch uses Ravager's ability, moves up his guys' units D6 plus 2 inches, using his Ravager ability as well. As you can see, he sends in the Backstabbers, kind of sending in as a screen to kind of protect his general. It kind of keeps his general back a little bit because he doesn't want to get shot anymore. And he also puts his command ability, those guys roll a 6 to wound, they also get double damage as well, which could be useful in the shooting phase if they can manage to finish off that guy in shooting. At the same time, he moves up the Looters as well as the Mangler and the Bonebreaker, as well as the Wrecker, moves him up to the normal lynches that they have for the Ravager's ability, and looks like he's going to try and make him sweep around that building on the left-hand side there to go to the right. More craziness takes place during the movement phase. As you can see, he just moves up his backstabbers just a normal 5 inches, as well as his war boss between the barn as well as that building there, so that they can take on the general at the location at the same time. At the same time, he also runs up his looters, moves those guys up I think another 7 inches. Same thing with the Mangler and Bonebreaker, they move up like 8 or 9 inches. With the biggest movement and significant movement, however, was for the Wrecker. That guy moved 11 inches, so he skyrocketed across the board to the other side of that building. And if he gets off a really good charge roll, he could actually engage a general on the left hand side as well. So things are not looking good for my buddy Fresh Prince Bel-Air. So with moving out of the way, we go directly to shooting phase. Nothing happens during the shooting phase, so we go directly to charge phase. As you can see in this photo, pretty much he sends in everything he possibly can into the general that he's allowed to. He sends in his backstabbers as well as his general, and he also rolls like a 10 for the charge distance for the Wrecker, which is the Fanatic. He also charged directly into the back of the general as well. So now that guy is completely surrounded in close combat. So that being said, we go to the combat phase. And once again, like a boss, the Wrecker comes through, hits him twice, causes D3 wounds in total, basically puts 5 wounds onto Lith Anar, and also kills the opposing general. So now the entirety of that Swift Talk Agent's Warband has been wiped off the table at the end of round number 2. And that takes us directly to the end of the game. As you can see, there's nothing left to the Swift Talk Agents. The only guys who are left on the table are the Moon Clan Grots, so this ends up being a major victory for the Crooked Moons. So with that being said, we go directly to the after action report for the post game, because this battle report is now officially over. Alright, that takes us directly to the post-game. This is the post-game for Shadows over Shadespire Battle Report number 3. This is a warband fight between my two friends, Fresh Prince Bel-Air and Grot the Paunch, with the Swift Hog Agents versus Moon Clan Grots. Ended up being a major victory for the Crooked Moons, so because of that, they get plus 2 to their renown. They also rolled off the rewards of Battle Table. They ended up getting an Ancient Relic. They rolled up on that one, got a Blessed Amulet for the General, so now the General, the Red Gawa, has plus 1 of his wounds, so now he's carrying 6 wounds instead of 5, which is absolutely devastating. With their total of 10 renown points for the recruitment, they decided to hire 2 more Cave Squigs as for his army, so now the Manglers and the Bonebreakers have 2 more Cave Squigs for a total of 3, and they also decided to hire 2 more Moon Clan Grots, 1 with the spear, 1 for the bow, to add more troops to both the Backstabbers as well as Ludas. Their current record's at 1 win and 0 losses, and their new renown total is at 60 points. Next, for the according to the Shadow King, because they lost, they only got 6 renown points on that one. However, when they rolled off on the Heroic Saga table, they got plus 2 renown as well. So because of that, they have 8 points additionally added to their army. They decided to take those 2. Fresh Prince Bel-Air decided to take those 8 points, hire 2 more Shadow Warriors, until that brings his renown up to 58 points, and his current reign is now at 0 wins and 1 loss. And that, ladies and gentlemen, ends the very first round of our campaign. Each of our war bands have now fought within the warband general fighting ability, so because that, we're now going to roll off on the rest of the different scenarios for the skirmish rules, because now we're progressing deeper into the mysterious city that is Shadespire. As always, you guys, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Your guys' input is always appreciated. As always, check out our Instagram as well as our Google Plus pages, as well as Facebook for all the latest and greatest and the updates on what's our hobbies going on with our hobby. Alright, you guys, we'll see you guys next week, Wednesday, for another edition of Shadows over Shadespire. Remember, we also have videos that take place every Sunday and Thursday, alternating. On Sundays, we have our Age of Sigmar battle reports, which is called the Age of the Realms. We also have our 9th Age battle reports called the Ninth Saga, which are 9th Age battle reports. Sorry about that. And on Thursdays, we alternate between 2 different battle reports. We have Necromunda, which is called Tales from the Underhive. We also have Warhammer 8th Edition called Warhammer the Golden Age. So tune in for those if you also want to see those. Alright, you guys, that's going to do it for this one. We will see you guys on the flip side. You guys stay classy. Peace out.